I'm Philip, I'm one of the organizers, and this is Carl, the other one, and Alex here. And this is the 22nd meetup. We started really small at a bookshop, actually, almost 3 years ago with 10 people, and now it's getting more and more. It's amazing to watch what's actually happening with VR. So, yeah, I'm really excited to be here. Yes, we have 3 talks today. The first is going to be by Hendrick Schicke from Mr. Cardboard, and he's been also around since the beginning of the new wave, not since the 80s or anything, no. And then we'll have Stefan Schindler from the Verein Berlin-Brandenburg, Virtual Reality Verein. We'll talk about that for a bit. And lastly, we have Maren Demand from Trax, is that right? Trix? Yes, talking about location-based VR. So it's going to be really interesting tonight. And then we have some demos from XNG. Actually, Alex can talk about that as well.
Yeah, so I'm happy that finally all the setup worked. So before I go to the demos, you'll find searches and offers over there at the table. If you have been last time, you already know that. So if you have any kind of skills you're looking for or projects where you want to offer, that's the place to go. There's already something on the wall. So you find in front of it, what is that called? I don't know. This little piece down there, and there's post-its and a pencil to write things on. So if you want to share what you want to do, or you need somebody to actually do it, so then that's the place to go. Over there you see we have 4 demos. First one is the XNG Walker with HTC Vive, which means that you have full room scale, like a Space Pioneer Trainer, any other things you like to play. Second one is also room scale, now with Oculus Touch, so very brand new. This device is just 1 week out, actually. So, then we have, I brought for myself, I hope it will survive the evening, a Subpack and a Gear VR, so you will have disco lights dancing. So and the last one is realities, also I think with touch now, right? So you have quite a variety. So I'm sorry that there's no PlayStation today. Well, there were reasons, but that go beyond our influence. So anyway, so you have a pretty good chance to try new stuff. So hope you enjoy the evening, and let's get into the talks.
Almost.
Yes. Almost.
No, I just wanted to say hi to everybody. So we're really happy to have you all here again, especially since it's so close to Christmas that even my own co-founder David has already gone home. So thanks to you all for showing up. It's a pleasure. And have some beers, hang out with us. And I have one more question for you guys. So 2016 was said in the beginning to be the year of VR. So it kind of didn't really, like, a little bit live up to it, but not really. So who thinks 2017 is going to be the year of VR? Who thinks 2018? Who thinks never? Okay. No traders here. I was just checking for the last one, actually. All right. Let's hear the talks, have fun, and come find us and chat and try out realities and see you around.
So, thank you. Okay, Hendrick Schicke from Mr. Cardboard.
Hi. Okay, works. So yes, my name is Hendrick Schicke from Mr. Cardboard, and I didn't have any better title than Big Scale Google Cardboard-based business models, which basically says nothing. You can download the slides later. I will provide the URL so you can totally focus. Who of you is already in VR and have a business model based on VR? Okay. And who does not yet have one but would like to have one? Okay, slightly more good, because the presentation is for you. So, Hendrick Schicke from Mr. Cardboard. You can write that down later. So, I'm here since the beginning, more or less, and most of the talks here are more either from high-tech companies who develop hardware like Illusion Walk and so on, or like from software like realities and so on. So what Mr. Cardboard is doing, we are doing neither high-tech hardware than we do software. We do basically, as the name would indicate, cardboards. Right? Really boring topic. We produce them and we sell them, custom branded. So what I hear a lot of times, and which you maybe also have in your mind, is Google Cardboard. This is brown, cheap box for housewives that you can get everywhere for free as a giveaway. You basically get thrown to death with it, and it's not even real VR. So I agree, but let me break this a little bit down. So, and then hopefully you have a different look at this sentence in the end. So brown and cheap, yes, kind of true. Of course, brown, you can also have them custom printed. This is what we basically do, right? So we do like a Coca-Cola ad for Harmony, Ghostbusters, and so on and so on. But also, what is really right about it is it's cheap. I mean, a branded Google Cardboard you can get between for €2 and €6 if you are a company. So, and it will be always that cheap because it's paper. So of course, the viewers will get better. Some people will get a plastic, but plastic is always more expensive than paper because you have to mold it, and you cannot custom print it like this. So in the beginning, I was also thinking cardboard going to go away as the market matures, but it actually shows the difference that the cardboard market is actually growing. So when you look into the wide range of making something happen, you have to have somehow a cardboard providing to the people because nobody currently has any viewer. So just some numbers. We are the number one in Europe for branded VRs, top 3 in the world. I have no idea if NoxLab or IM Cardboard is bigger or if you are at the same level. But we have so far, since beginning of 2015, like 2.6 million cardboards branded and sold out Euro-wide, USA-wide as well. Thank you. So, and the most interesting stuff about cardboard is like, it was introduced 2014. 1 year later, there was already 1 million sold. This is like everybody was certified by Google, also us. They calculate all the numbers and put it together. So 1 year later, you have 1 million. Half a year later after that, you have 5 million. So in half of the amount of time, you increased 5 times. And there's no number yet for until now, but I estimated it. So by July, we had like 60 million cardboards worldwide. This including also some China, some black market, which is not tracked by Google. But if you compare it to the Samsung Gear Oculus Rift, Sony is not in here. Sony is, I think, a really big share, but it's not as big as the cardboard share, right? So the cardboard is currently at least the driver for VR if you talk about masses, about everybody out there. And it's cheap, it's easy to brand, and it's very, very simple to use. I will come to it later. So the first takeaway is, of course, cardboard is cheap, it will stay cheap, and it's mass customizable, and probably forever, because it's still made from paper. And that will not change even though the technique and the technology gets better. So, coming back to the sentence, housewives. Desperate housewives. So talking about easy, right? An average housewives or my grandma or anybody here who uses VR, they are not techies, they are not nerds, they don't have any idea. My mom can barely play Candy Crush, so there's not really much going on, but it has to be simple. And cardboard is basically simple. If you know how to use a phone, the only thing you need is kind of unfold it. This is our cardboard we have. It's really simple to make. You can just put your phone in, basically you can go. No room scale set up. Which is good and bad, but also no complicated buttons to push, no drivers, no difficult hardware. So it's really for the mass market, including the housewives, also the husbands and everybody who's older than 40, right? The big target. So I think everybody knows this curve, right? Early adopters and so on and so on. Currently we are maybe at the end of early adopters because Samsung Gear and PlayStation VR goes maybe to major majority. But what we really want when we have a business model, that's why I call it big scale. I mean, it's nice to have a business model from VR, but you want to make money, right? So you want to make it big scale. You want to target for this, which is like, the 70% of it, maybe a little bit later, also a little bit before. So think about that when you make a business model, that it's scalable, big scale, so it needs to be easy to use and need to be on that housewives target group. And another mistake which I most of the time hear or notice is people speak about consumer VR. Right? They think about, okay, VR is not yet there because consumers maybe They don't have any value. They buy a Sony PlayStation, they buy HTC Vive. This is consumer VR, but we are not there yet. I think it's wrong to target directly at the consumer. It would be way smarter to target at businesses that go to consumer. Because if you go to consumer directly, you have basically games. Don't know if anybody knows this video. Wait for it. Anyway. So it would be better to target not on consumers directly, but to go like around the corner, as we say in Germany, or to think laterally, or to think differently, to go to market to companies that market to end consumers, like IKEA, for example. If you develop an app for IKEA, and that really takes off, you just with this one account, one client, you have a really, really good business model, and you don't need to bother about how IKEA is using that. One example is, for example, Belfast. Nice city to visit. And of course you could have developed an app for normal people who want to visit Belfast. They can walk through the streets and they look at everything and they can have an idea how Belfast looks before they go. I think if you really did this well, you maybe get 500 downloads. So really not so much. But if you make that same app, you may put in some museums and stuff and market this app to the touristic office of Belfast, it's a different story because they can use it to attract people in the touristic offices, or which is actually the business case. They are selling this. When people come to the touristic office, they say, here you have a cardboard and an app. The app is for free, you need this cardboard anyway. They sell it for 10 euros. They bought it to be for 4 or 5. So they're really making the money with the cardboard itself because it's a connected business model. You can have the app, but you need the cardboard, so you sell the cardboard together with the app. Right? So you as a developer, you develop this business case, market it to Berlin City, for example, or Hamburg City or whatever, and this is how you can generate value and go for a good business model. Keep that in mind. So target for the big markets, which is the housewives, and think around the corner, right? Don't go B2B to B2B, or B2B to B2C, or B2B to B2C. Just look for B2B is business to business, right? Business, customer. So like, go around the corner because businesses have money. Next one, everywhere. That is true. So when you go to the CES or IFA or whatever fair, I think it feels like at least that every attended person has like an Oculus Rift and they're also giving away cardboards, which is good business for me. But they are really everywhere. So this is the chart as before. So because the other headsets are very limited out there, that's why they need to distribute cardboards to sell their idea. And even if you look in the Daydream OS, you see, for example, Netflix or HBO. They actually have their app there, so they're targeting on the Samsung Gear also on Daydream. But to promote their VR, same as Sky VR, they printed a hell of cardboards and gave them out just to promote it. So even the companies like Netflix who target on the people who has already glasses or the one who will already will buy glasses or viewers, they use cardboards to still attract them. Because when you make an app for Daydream, you're targeting to the people who have already, which is like 200,000 people. If you make a business case plus the cardboard, you can use the cardboard to attract new people in. That's in this market is way bigger. So even you can say that Netflix, they already have a customer base, they already have a user base. Even they are using cardboards to attract more people because they also need to get kind of like around the market. So the cardboard is part of their value chain. And that's also, is somebody here from NextVR? That's also what is annoying me a bit on NextVR, that they made this Samsung Gear exclusive, and now they put in Daydream, but this cardboard is really like, really tricky to watch it. And I think they're missing out a huge potential because they could sell bundles. Like you get a cardboard, you get a unique code, send the cardboard physically out to the people and they can watch a stream from the NBA or NFL or whatever. And I have no idea why they're not using it. I think they're missing a big share. And in general, cardboards, talking about everywhere, you can really use them everywhere, right? So you can also use them in the train or here, everywhere without having a PC, but you can also use it in Africa where everybody has a phone, but nobody has a PC. I mean, it's Nokia phone, it's not that fancy, but smartphones are taking over PCs and laptops. There are already more smartphones out there. So Google Cardboard or mobile VR, you can also use the plastic ones, but they are more expensive, of course. They are the key part. If you make a business model big scale, you have to have cardboards, I guess, in there, because you cannot market it because nobody has a viewer, so you have to provide a viewer, and the cheapest option is the cardboard. So when you think about that, don't, of course, also develop for Rift, sure, but if you want to make a big scale business model, forget Rift, forget Samsung Gear, forget PlayStation anyway, target on mobile VR and cardboards. So, giveaway, yes, I already talked about that just now. Actually confused a little bit. The problem is giveaways. I think the year of cardboard giveaways is over because the demand is decreasing and more people actually develop apps. 80% of the apps are nonsense, but 20% of the apps are actually good in providing value. And this is also where I want to show you what is already in the market or where you can get some inspiration, then you can start coding and start selling to marketing agencies because they have understood that VR is a thing. They just have no idea how to use it. And but it's so they're making 360 videos. So it's kind of like our mistake because we don't give them good content and don't market to them very well, and it's kind of their mistake because they don't deep dive, right? There's a gap. You have the techies and you have the marketing agencies, nobody's in between. And since I'm kind of in between there, so I try to fill the gap, but I cannot program and I cannot market very well. I can only make like things half. So, so I got a call from a client, and he wanted to have, he currently has already a mobile configurator on his homepage where you can configure what color the floor has, if it should be from wood or stone, and how the stuff and what pattern should be arranged. And they really, really, really wanted to have an app where you can actually look in VR. You're in a fake room, but you can change in VR, you can change the tile, how they are aligned, if they're made from wood or so on, and you look at the windows, so you see the reflections, you see the pattern, you look at the corner, you see how the wood is and how it looks like. And they wanted this is not for marketing, they wanted this internally, because their sales department people are always carrying around a lot of samples, and a lot of samples. So they have like, you cannot fill a truck with all the samples, so they wanted to have this in VR, but there was no solution out there, so no product catalog, no nothing. And so another company, which is called TopView, who make normally the ceilings with the holes so we don't have an echo like this, they actually developed an app to showing exactly that. But there are so many other companies, if you talk about wallpapers, if you think about windows like Velux or so on, everything that can be in the product catalog, people or the B2B people are desperately looking for this. Or also Vitra, who make the really, really nice chairs. Or Christ, who make very nice smoke, how to say that? Jewelry. Jewelry, yes, exactly. They also would like to have this. Or Chanel, or whoever, or Gucci. Of course, you need to take pictures, you cannot make this CGI. But the whole category of product catalogs is, I think, currently totally underdeveloped. So tourism, which is time travel, which is if you go to a place, location-based VR, very nice. You go to a place and then your phone vibrates, you put it in, and then you make like 50 years, you travel back and look around how it was 50 years ago, for example. Or like guided tour or souvenirs. So who knows the Europa Park in Rust? Who was on it with the Samsung Gear? Was it nice? I never tried.
That was extremely nice.
Okay. Because, yes, this is one part, this is Samsung Gear. I also wouldn't recommend to use cardboards. But what they are doing is after you've done the ride, they sell the cardboard to you with the ride. And they so far, it's crazy. I never met somebody who sold so many cardboards. They sold in half a year 10,000 pieces, which is a lot. Normally, last year I sold to B2C 12,000 online, and that was the hype here, kind of. So they're really doing this very, very well and generating a business model there. Souvenirs. Same as with museums, if you think about this. So you go to a museum, you look at stuff, you get enriched content, or like augmented reality, mixed reality, or whatever, and in the end you can use it as a souvenir. I have also hotels who are doing that, so that's also a big, big market. If you have a business idea this way, you can also work.
Selling it? I thought they gave it away for free to attract people to go to Europa, but they're selling it afterwards.
Yes.
Wow.
At least they're selling it. I don't know if they give it away for free, but they're also selling it there on the souvenir shop. It works. So this is basically, I think, what you see if you have the Samsung Gear on. So product catalogs are already mentioned, and fair booths. But let me go one more thing. Who knows Schindler, who make like the elevator and escalators? Okay. When I was still business consulting, I was consulting their spare part business. This is not their spare parts, but the biggest problem is they have like 40,000 different spare parts. And the problem, and when somebody in Switzerland has a broken elevator, the guy goes there, and then he sees something is broken, and then he will order like 20 spare parts, 30 spare parts, because he doesn't know which one fits. And everything goes same day express. So they have like millions of euros or Swiss francs in shipping costs only. So they developed a catalog where you can actually go through a lot of spare parts. So they took a picture, everything in 3D in a white box, but it's still flat. And it helps a bit. But if you think about it, it would be mixed reality, so you can actually scale it and see it in scale directly in front of you. They would pay you a lot of money for this, to have this app, because they could save quite a lot on their shipping cost. It's a really, really dry, if you think about VR or mixed reality, this business case wouldn't come up, right? But it solves really a pain. So think differently, think a little bit around what problem can we actually solve. Don't think consumer, think also for businesses. Talking about catalogs, so AIDA and TUI are already, they always had the problem that when you look at the pictures, you cannot, or I cannot imagine how the room looks. Also, you don't believe the pictures because they are basically fake, right? So the TUI is using 360 pictures, which are more, of course they're also photoshopped, but they are perceived more real. And of course people have a feeling how big is the room really. And especially for cruise ships, where you have like a real difference between 12 square meter and 15 square meter, it doesn't say much as 3, but it looks bigger and it costs way bigger. So they can really upsell their cabins. That's why they're using the, only on the ship. They don't have any hotels, they use it mainly for ships. Okay. Of course, education is the biggest driver. I think, I have no idea who said it, but they said 2017 education going to be the biggest driver, but the problem is education doesn't have money so much. So there are already some nice things. I don't have the t-shirt here, but it's already done. So you can, it's a QR code marker printed in the t-shirt, you can dive in. So it's really, really nice. And if you think about it, the biggest publisher for university stuff in medicine and finance is called Pearson. And Pearson has a big problem. This is from 2016, 10 years. You can see when the internet was in the beginning, they had like a bigger share, and then Wikipedia came and everything, and nobody used books anymore or didn't use books so much. So they are desperately looking now for a continuous business model. And when you think about, when you have like all this data, 3D graphics of the anatomy of the body, if you want to, you have an app for the people who study medicine, or you have it additionally to the book, people would buy the book way more, because when they look at the heart in 3D and see everything, it's really easier for them to learn everything than just learning from the book, right? So even with education, you can earn money if you make like this, or if you build, for example, for museums. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know anything about that? Because that's my field, like publishers and publishing houses and book education, so I'm very curious what's Pearson going to do?
I don't know. I don't actually know if Pearson has VR on their strategy yet. So I would try to, that's why, for example, this here, from Virtuality, I think they have not got any offer yet from a big education-related company, because they don't have this on their mind. But if you have something like this and you approach them, then you could sell it as a whole business, as an exit strategy, maybe. But I don't know specifically. No?
I have friends who work for Pearson in the UK, and it's very
okay.
There, they are well already. You know?
Yeah, in China, for example, it's already dominating, I think, worldwide education, because the state said every school, every university has to have that. Now they have it already. So we don't have it in other countries.
Okay.
State regulated.
Innovation Desert Europe. Okay. Okay, then you know more than I feel. It's also just an inspiration, not a fact. Oh. So so marketing agencies, marketing departments, sales department, they are basically they have budget, they don't know how to spend it.